Welcome, everyone. I'm Mike Mershazadeh.
And I'm Ashley Ward.
And you're listening to the What Matters podcast, and our mission
to spotlight top RIAs, wealth managers, and investment professionals who are redefining wealth management.
Join us as we dive into their journeys, strategies, and insights.
Whether you're an investor or an inspiring pro, this is for you.
Get ready for impactful conversations on the What Matters podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the What Matters podcast. I'm Mike Mershazadeh.
And I'm Ashley Ward.
Today, we're joined by a leader who has spent nearly 30 years helping families for financial security and clarity, confidence, and care.
Jimbo Huckabee is a partner and private wealth advisor at Luca Partners, affiliated with Northwestern Mutual. Since beginning his journey in 1995, Jimbo has become a trusted voice in the wealth planning space, known for his relationship-driven approach and commitment to service.
He's also a long-time managing director at 40 Under 40 honoree and an integral part of the Chapel Hill-Durham business community.
Jimbo, welcome to the show. We're excited to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me. Delighted to be here and look forward to chatting with you today.
Well, we're looking forward to learning more about you and your journey. So let's just dive right into the conversation. So, Jimbo, you've been with Northwestern Mutual since 1995. What originally drew you to, the financial planning industry, this profession, after graduating from UNC's business school?
Yeah, really good question. There was not much that drew me to it, actually. I was planning to go to Wall Street, but Wall Street decided that I was not going to come there. And so the options were commercial banking and pharmaceutical sales. And I had a friend in college whose father ran a bunch of offices for Northwestern Mutual, and he said, you should look at it. I ultimately did and decided that permanent life insurance was something that I could understand and explain to people. I liked the tax benefits and the compound interest. And I was like, okay, I can do that for a couple of years. And then I'll go back and go to Wall Street. And the reality is 30 years later, here I am.
Really cool. I'll tell you this, that's really interesting. So during that time, were there other insurance practices out there or insurance-based practices like I know, like Mass Mutual or MetLife or any of those other companies that were recruiting, or Edward Jones, were they as prominent as Northwestern, or were they kind of secondary?
In our market, there certainly were some, but it was not, again, it wasn't something that I was seeking. I really thought I was just going to do it for a short period of time, make a little bit of money, and then do something else. So I wasn't really thinking much about what the other opportunities in this space were, because I didn't really think I'd be in it that long.
So tell us about Luca Partners. You're a managing director of Luca Partners. How long have you been with Luca Partners for?
Yeah, so the backstory is I'm a managing director for Northwestern Mutual, so I still run an office for them. And but I started just as a life insurance person in the 90s, and it evolved to where I started doing financial planning through another mentor of mine. His name is John Mitchell. He had practiced law for 17 years and had a career change. He had 3 young daughters at home and was just fed up with billing in 6-minute increments. And his brother was a life insurance agent with Northwestern Mutual. And he's like, well, I'll go do financial planning. Northwestern had bought Robert W. Baird at the time. They were a full service broker dealer. And he's like, I can do investments and do financial planning for his brother's clients. And that ended up not working so well, the two of them together. But I started bringing stuff to John, and the timing was fortuitous because my clients were saying, hey, we've already checked the box on this life insurance stuff. What else can you do for me? And I didn't know. And so I said, well, let me introduce you to John. John practiced law for 17 years. He keeps his JD active in the tax and estate sections of the bar. He's an excellent financial planner. He throws pennies around like they're manhole covers, and you're really going to want to meet him. I think you'll find him thoughtful. And that's just what we did for many, many years. I would just bring him in, and we did a lot of business together for a long time. And so Luca Partners kind of was born out of John creating his own entity and me not seeing myself in it, seeing not that we weren't very aligned and we talked about doing business together, but because I was running an office for Northwestern, I just started building my own business separate from him, which became Huckabee Wealth Management Group. And then about 6 years ago, two young advisors in our office that I had helped bring into Northwestern, and we got together and started talking about building a firm together. And so their group, both of their groups and my group were merged together to form Luca Partners. And so that's how it came to pass.
Really cool. Thank you. I was gonna say I was like I'm a little bit confused here. I have so many questions, but I appreciate you answering that. Um, and let me ask you. So you said that you're a managing director for Northwestern. What does that entail there? How's that different from Luca Partners?
Yeah, it's. I always say it's just a separate job. It's like I run two businesses. The Northwestern job is recruiting and developing talent, like the two partners that I have, and there's been other big firms that have grown out of our shop in the time that I've been able to steward it. But that job rewards horizontal and vertical growth of advisors. So you bring people in, you start from scratch. It's quite challenging, and separate from that is Luca Partners, and that's its wholly owned subsidiary. It's a S corp or LLC, taxed as an S corp, and there's 7 owners now in our firm, and we own it. We control it. It is not a Northwestern mutual based entity. We just partner with them on the wealth management front. They, side note, when we created Luca, Northwestern created a private client group. And so as we were thinking about, was Northwestern the place that we wanted to continue to build our career in this wealth management space, it became clear to us that they were committed to the wealth management space. In fact, they allowed within the private client group for you to actually own, quote unquote, own your clientele. So if we leave Northwestern, we don't have a non-compete or anything. The clients just go wherever we go. And so that was beneficial. And they created a more competitive platform with liquid alternatives, very robust platform. They got institutional share class pricing across the board. It just, everything became more like an RIA, and it is its own RIA. So that just sung to us, said, hey, we like the risk management products that we can offer our clients through Northwestern. We know we can do them through other carriers too, but we do like theirs. And so there can be continuity with our firm just staying where we are.
Oh, gotcha. So essentially, is Northwestern's just kind of like your LPL, not
Correct.
That's really cool. So your AUM stands on its own. It doesn't go under Northwestern's umbrella for the AUM.
Correct. I'm sure when they report total AUM at the wealth management company, it includes all private client group firms for sure. But because we keep 95% of what our clients pay, and so they're getting some of that. I'm sure there's some management flows in there to other people as well. But yeah.
And so let me ask you this: at Luca, when you guys have formed the groups together, you got 7 owners there. How many total individuals are at the organization?
Well, the owners came about over time. There was just the 3 of us to start. There are 23 of us today.
Wow. And how many are client facing?
The 4 partners are client facing, and then we have 3 others that are client facing, and that's evolving. We have other people in our firm that will join meetings and are learning. Some are already financial planners, but they're learning to do more client facing work.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was quite a late adapter to the second chair world. Even though I was really doing it, I would bring in one of our, what I called investment specialists, because they really just did the investment work for our clients. And because I didn't want to do it, and I'd previously used that guy, John, that I mentioned. And so they were in the meetings. They were talking about the planning along with me, but they were really just doing the investment management piece. So they would do the reviews. They got the phone calls and the emails. And so it worked quite well that we were a team in that way. And so it's evolved to where they're really, really good at what they do, but we have to have other people joining us in meetings and serving in that second chair role. We just had a very high end second chair environment for a long time.
And I think what my last question there was regarding that topic is, what have you guys collectively grown the AUM to there?
when we formed Luca, our three firms together, and the two of them were about the size of my group. We're about 400 million, and we've just crossed $1 billion.
That's awesome. Good for you guys.
That was in, I guess it formalized in 2020. So in 5 years, that's where we are. That's what we've done over the last 5 years.
Wow.
Wow. So you said collectively you were at what?
400 million.
Million before? That's great growth in 5 years. Amazing. And
Well,
so, oh, go ahead.
No. You go.
I was going to say, so when you guys started, it was just three of you, you're three, and then now 23 employees. Tell us about, where I take it you're probably provided your managing director role focused on recruiting with Northwestern Mutual. Are you very big about, promoting within Luca Partners and growing that team from within, from the lower level, bringing them higher up within the team?
I really bifurcate the two jobs, the managing director role and the wealth management Luca Partners world. Although there is cross-pollination, many of our folks in our firm did start in one form or capacity working for our Durham Chapel Hill Northwestern office, and then it was a natural fit for them to join our group.
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted.
I was just going to say, and be clear on the math of people, I think there was 12 of us, or 12 or 13 when we came together to form Luca. Each of the three of us had our own team in place.
And so let me ask you this, as having that role with Northwestern, obviously you said you're recruiting and developing talent. What makes it so that you say, wow, I mean, what is it that, do you want to build do you have the indication that you want that everybody you recruit, you want to see if they're good for your team first before you might hand them off to somebody else at Northwestern? Or is it just, you go, man, these guys might not be a fit for us, but you think they're a fit for somebody else under the Northwestern umbrella?
Really good question. Everybody I recruit, I hope that they will build their own entity, their own Luca Partners. And so we are recruiting and developing them to be able to build that for themselves. Many of them find that they want to join a team somewhere along the way. They don't want to go through the painstaking toils of building a firm from the ground up. But the hope is that they do. And so again, the Luca Partners is built to be a multi-generational firm. My role as a managing director is, I call it a stewardship, and it's temporary. Somebody else will be running that office, and I will be just with Luca Partners before long.
Real cool.
And so those that you're recruiting in that managing director role, is it, primarily guys who are just, coming out of college starting, or the younger individuals?
Yeah, good question. We run a college program. There's actually some very disheartening messaging out there on Glassdoor about what they do, because they have to call friends and family and try to get meetings and see if they can help them from a risk management perspective. They're not securities licensed, and so but we're very transparent about that, and we talk about risk management being the first part of financial planning, or a part of it. And we don't want a bunch of college students running around with securities licenses trying to do financial planning. So we encourage them to do work with other teams, with other seasoned advisors, and learn the business from the ground up. But most of our recruits are what we'd call career changers. They've been in the real world for 3, 4, 5 years, some of them maybe even 10 plus. And they're like the John Mitchell, who came from practicing law. I mean, it was just a complete pivot. And so we have folks with different backgrounds, from teaching, from Cisco sales to other technology firms, to you name it.
And let me ask you this: do all the managing partners? Are you guys? Is it equal ownership there? Is it just or is the first selected group, the three of you guys, kind of the primary own the primary lion's share of the business, and then you guys have partners that have less ownership than you guys do?
Yeah, the 4 partners have the majority of the ownership, and then there's 3 other owners within our firm as well. And I suspect there'll be many more owners as we go on. I mean, part of my doing this, I'm 52 today, so I was 47 at the time, and bringing on partners in their 30s. Part of it was just to really start the building of a multi-generational firm. And I know that people have done that probably even younger than me, but it felt young at the time to be bringing on G2s and formalizing a partnership, and they went and got debt and notes and bought in so they could be equal partners even. And so we are working hard to build out G3. We want this to literally be a firm that and Northwestern has creating financing tools, right? They know that we can leave, but they certainly wouldn't want people to leave, and so they're creating creative financing tools for other people to buy into the shops that are very attractive in the marketplace.
And where do you see Luca Partners going in the next, 3 to 5 years, more short term, whether that's team size, growth with the AUM services, or, the impact there, what's on the horizon?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, in Luca, when I say multi-generational firm, we have clients whose parents or clients who have children that are with us. And so we talk about a multi-generational firm serving multi-generational families. But that's not the only way we're trying to grow. Each of the partners is responsible for bringing in 50 million of new AUM in 2025. And so I suspect with the organic growth of 200 million a year, we should be over $1 billion, but we're going to need infrastructure. And so whether it's our financial planning team, our ops team, our investment team, everybody's thinking about what other resources, our practice managers, what other resources do we need to be able to service a $2 million book? What does that look like? What else do we have? So we think about it both from a AUM perspective and a headcount perspective. The good news from a revenue perspective is that while we think we can double over that period of time, we don't think we'll have to go to 46 people. We think we have
Right.
really good team in place today, and we can scale appropriately and probably be somewhere in the 28 to 32 range.
Yeah. Yeah, because you already have the platform, so it's kind of, you already have the platform and you already have the capacity that's already been built out. That's very, very smart of you guys too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody said, well, you seem to think about the head count, the profitability, and the AUM. Are you thinking about just selling? And the answer is really no, because if you want to, you are thinking about selling, but you want to sell internally, and so we want to build up the team to do that. And it's going to require for us. We operate under EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System, and last year we hired a full-time COO, and that's been a game changer for us. So a lot of these heavy lifting of how we're going to grow and when we're going to grow, he is leading that front. And that's been a huge lift to what we see as possible now in our firm, because when you're trying to run a firm, and in my case, be a managing director and take care of clients, it's just too much.
Right.
But and let me ask you this: you had brought up something about selling the firm or selling the firm within. Can you highlight on that topic there?
Yeah. We want the ownership of our firm to stay within Luca Partners, like that. And I'm sure there's some level of nostalgia for a lot of people just to think about retiring and seeing their firm still operate. Seeing that firm take care of my children and grandchildren one day would mean a lot to me. So growing it to a larger size, but then having people that have the capacity internally to buy out the equity of the older owners.
Really cool.
And I mean, you're at that billion mark threshold at, from what we've discussed with other guys. I feel like that's kind of, that area where it gets tough to grow for many teams. You're kind of, the challenges are more real there. What do you think is the most important, strategy to really overcome that one hurdle from going from, $1 billion to $2 billion?
Yeah, I would say I'm hopeful that what we've gone through to get from where we are, maybe we were early adapters into the struggle, because I feel like around 700, when we're trying to integrate our team and think through how to get the team working as a firm rather than in silos, it was just, that was a grind. And now having a full-time COO that has organizational and leadership background is helped quite a bit. So I'm hopeful that as we grow moving forward, it won't be as painful as what we've gone through. We literally had 3 separately operating teams working together, and we thought, okay, well, they're all have been doing this a long time. The 3 partners can just go keep bringing on clients, and they'll figure out how to run the firm. Like they'll just do it. And what happened was every single person wanted to, had opinions on the way their group did it and how we did it. And so there was just a lot of tug and war going through that period of time. And we lost some people, some very good, some that we're okay with. But at the end of the day, we're now in a much, much better place with people that are aligned for growth moving forward and aligned for making sure we focus always on taking care of clients, which means when we need to hire people, we're going to hire them. And we have a path to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's...
Are you guys still writing a lot of insurance, by the way?
Yeah, great question. So when I said, part of why we wanted to stay is we really like risk management products. I tell people all the time that I'm all about equities. My portfolio is 100% equities. And I'm a big proponent of that type of strategy, but you have to have a good downside protection. And Northwestern's cash values of life insurance and Northwestern's income annuities mathematically have been second to none. I'm quite certain there's other income annuities, but when I think about Northwestern's being tied to their general account, I know that I'll be able to sleep well retired as people incomes are actually going up, has an built-in inflation hedge in it from the rate environment we've been in. So we really like this, and it seems like the industry is actually moving our way. Ernst & Young has done a study with portfolio life insurance. They've now done ones with some of the IUL platforms. Richard Thaler from Booth, who's a professor and Nobel laureate, and as well as Peter Diamond from MIT, they've done these studies, and they say that these risk-based products are better than bonds in a lot of circumstances. And so most all of our clients do have some component of bonds, but we're all about thinking about the equity component. So yes, we do risk management, disability insurance, long-term care, life insurance, both for protection and for estate planning and income annuities. In fairness, though, until 3 years ago, we never wrote an income annuity. Interest rate environment changed. Northwestern's product had a tremendous dilution charge on it. So to get the full crediting rate, it took a while. And that all changed in a different interest rate environment to where they're very attractive. But it's not we operate with a revenue sharing, profit sharing model for all of our employees. And in that world, we're pretty transparent. And I think 80%, 90% of the revenue is coming from wealth, 80% anyway.
Yeah.
And I imagine that will get a bigger gap over time.
Right. Do you see, Luca's Partners started by, merging 3 different teams together. Do you see your team by chance, acquiring another team to bring on to join with you in the coming years at all to, add to that growth? Or you think just continue to build your internal teams?
Potentially. We brought on a firm this past year. It was one that we had known for a long time. They were also a Northwestern firm, and it just made sense. So what I say is we're going to grow organically, but organically may be inorganic, but it's not because we're just looking for that inorganic growth. It's going to be because it's a firm that we know well. They know us. It's a good fit. We don't have an M&A team. We're not looking to build anything out like that. We want to grow through bringing on new clients. And if we do a lot of work with other advisors and there becomes some synergy and it makes sense, and we'll go down that path.
Yeah. it's the culture, the cultural fit. It needs to work well. Otherwise, you're back to that point of their team being there and your team working together over here.
Integrating another person's team is not easy, and I'm always impressed at the very large firms that do it so well, because I know it's tough.
Right.
Getting the right people in the right seats.
Absolutely. Well, I think for my last question I have for you today, Jimbo, would be, as someone who, mentors, recruits, develops teams, what do you think is your, most important or your most often provided piece of advice that you give to these new individuals starting off in the industry, or that you would like to offer to those who are just entering this space?
Yeah. We always say you're tremendously overworked and underpaid in this space early on. To be underworked and overpaid, I don't think you're ever actually underworked, though. The work is always there to be done, but it sounds good. So for new people, it is just a grind. I always say, embrace the suck and just get after it. Our deal with all new advisors is make sure you schedule 2 new meetings a day, because when you see new people and you do a fact finder and you engage with them and you understand what's important to them, it just gives you energy, and that will and experience. And so the faster they can move through that, some that schedule more than that will be even more successful. But it's just a lot of hard work, meeting people and trying to find people that will talk to you. And so just daily win every day and go from there.
Yeah.
Win every day. Well, Jimbo, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, learning more about you and your role and your career and journey with Northwestern Mutual and Luca Partners. Thank you for sharing your energy, your thoughts, your wisdom with us in our audience.
Thanks for having me. Good to see both of you.
Likewise. Have a great weekend.
You too.
To our listeners, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the What Matters podcast. We'll see you next time.